He's a narcissistic pig.
Lynn Nelson is furious. The target of her
hurt us.
anger, the man who has admitted to stealing more than $250,000 from her and her husband. He is Josh Abernathy, owner of Omega Investment Group, who guaranteed investors 10 to 15% return on their money. A well-known member of his church, Abernathy held investment seminars.
How awesome he is with the church, and he's such a Christian, and he's teaching these elders about how to handle their finances during their retirement. And I mean, everyone around me is singing this guy's praises.
Lynn and Drew thought they had done their homework by checking Abernathy's credentials, which appeared legitimate.
I had told him my previous situations with other investment brokers, my dissatisfaction with them, about how I felt more like a number, as the companies got bigger and things like that. And Josh seemed very personable. Told me everything I wanted to hear.
I get the quarterly statements in. I'm making, 12, 16%, and I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. And he's actually showing us statements. Okay, so then I gave him $90,000.
A total of 14 victims lost $1.3 million in Abernathy's scheme. Among them, William Blanchard.
A couple other people had already invested with me in the church, so I figured, okay, we'll try it. So we did.
At one point, he, along with Lynn Nelson and her husband, began questioning who would be in charge of their money if something happened to him.
You're driving all these fancy cars all the time. What happens if you wrap one around a tree? Well, my wife takes care of that. And that's when we were sitting right here in this room, and all of us looked at him and said, your wife, what about your partners? Well, I don't really have any partners. My wife and I work this.
Red flags started popping up, and in Blanchard's case, someone recommended he try withdrawing some of his money.
I don't want to think it either, I really don't, because he and his wife, we just love him to death, and I just didn't want anything like that to even be possible, but you had to look at that possibility.
After Abernathy blew off meetings with these clients, they went to his home, where Abernathy said he had turned himself into the FBI.
What about the money? Well, it's gone. Josh, what do you mean? Gone. It's just gone, is what he said over and over again.
When the money ran out, when he had absolutely no money left, he then walked to the FBI and turned himself in and admitted to running what he labeled as a $1 million Ponzi scheme.
Officials say Abernathy gave authorities a thumb drive that included a victim list, as well as the false financial statements he had been sending out.
Essentially ended up using their funds as his own personal piggy bank, and would pay off some of his own bills, use it for his own exotic vacations, rent expensive cars, and things of that nature.
Postal inspectors say Abernathy would ask victims to write the checks to him or E-Trade, which is a red flag.
Because he could take that check and possibly even put it in his personal checking account, and it'd be legal because it's made out to him